Everyone, this is Gora, and we are Sam and Besnick, and we're here today to do a quick video response to a video titled Everyday Feminism When Men Ignore You for Not Being Interested in Their Advances. The first minute of it is her just talking about whatever her personal interest, and then it's going to follow up with how she feels. So let's just examine it point by point. We're going to address it, and we'd like to hear your feedback, your responses, and your comments. Let's get this moving without further delay.
Everyday feminism today by talking about something that I think is a feminist issue and is sort of like deeply ingrained patriarchy at
Let's not forget that point. Deeply ingrained patriarchy. Let's not forget that.
work and basically very not okay sexism going on.
Also, sexism is involved in this. We'll get back to that, trust me.
And that is in regards to men and how they respond to women, to female friends, when they kind of confess their feelings or ask them out on a date or whatever, and the woman declines, says they're not interested. I feel like when this happens, a lot of the time a man might approach a woman and she's not interested and makes that clear, but they're friends, or they work together, or they have some sort of close association, which means that they can't go their separate ways and they have to see each other regularly. I feel like the man, like I have seen this recently directed towards me and towards other women that I know and that I work with and some friends, and there always seems to be some case somewhere where the guy will turn around and like completely like cut off the bridge of friendship, but not in a way where it's like self-protection, saying sort of like, my ego's been hurt and I need a little bit of space, and you know, when this is all like the storm has passed, we will like regain our friendship. What I see and what I hear is this horrible power play that aims to punish the woman for not being interested or like
All right,
accepting the advances
stop right
of
there.
men.
All right.
Okay, so let's just gather from what I mean. The point she's trying to make.
Hold on. Before we finish this, the rest of the video is her just talking about the same thing. You know, like how men shouldn't be doing this, acting this
Okay.
sort of way after they get rejected because they showed interest. So let's just
Okay.
skip that part. So we just use 2 minutes of material right now.
All right, so let's tackle two different points here. There was the talk about the men not being interested. It seems like the men being after they've shown their interest, how they treat the women differently, her differently. So I think can we chalk it up to simply he was trying to find an interest or trying to make pave a way to be interested in her.
He had an interest. That's why she was talking about, oh, okay, when the guy asks you out and then you say no and then they acted a different way. Like, there was an interest on the man's side. There was no romantic interest on her side, but there was a friendship interest in her side. Okay, that's where it's like a little foggy. Like, he has a right to say, okay, I don't want to hang out with you anymore just because you're not interested in me, you know? Like, she's trying to demonize that. You know, a lot of times when people get involved in relationships, you know, first thing you do is you become friends with them. You know, you get to know them. Hey, favorite color, what's your favorite fish? Shit like that. And then there's a point that has to come where one of them has to say, hey, go on a date with me. And now if she says no, he can say, okay, she's not interested in me. I don't need to be her friend anymore. Like, why do I need to be her friend? You know, I'm just wasting my time.
That doesn't happen all the time, but it is, like, realistically, it's on the mind. Like,
Of course.
is there a point where he'll feel like he's just wasting his time or his energy or focus on one person where he can pursue someone who has an interest back in him?
Yeah, and I love how she called that a power play. You know,
Right.
like no, it's not a power play. Like, there's no more game involved. Like, he's out of this game. Shut the hell up.
Well,
You know?
yeah, like this is no, it's not it's it's simply that, and it happens. I'll confess, I've done it before where I was only pursuing as a term of friendship, in a way of friendship, so I can see how she is mentally and who she is personally, and then I would find an interest. And if I don't find an interest, I'm not going to make an advance. But when I find an interest, I'll, make a friendly advance or just a small advance. But if I get shot down, I get shot down. Now I realize my attempt is futile. It made no sense. Well, no, it didn't make that no sense. It wasn't gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I can move on to bigger and better fish. And
Yeah, like she wants you to continue being her friend after you said no. Like,
after you got friend zoned in the phantom zone, come
nah.
on, like
Friend
ain't no
zone in the
escape from
phantom
that.
zone.
Like why? Yeah, it's you can't. Well, what's the
And
point? It's
yeah,
just
and I love how she called it sexism. Like, let me open this browser right now. Let me
oh
open this up, calling this sexism. Like,
right.
sexism is defined as prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination, typically against women, on the basis of sex. Okay, there was no discrimination, no prejudice, no stereotyping in her story. He's not saying, "Oh, if you're a woman, I'm not gonna hang out with you." No, he just doesn't want to hang out with her anymore. Like, there is no sexism in this situation that she's
Yeah, yeah,
mentioning.
and first to be friends. I mean, men are friends with men because there's a lot we can share a common bond, and we can say a lot of things that we can't really say in front of everyone
Oh
else.
yeah, you have no
Men are,
idea.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
men, men,
you kind of have an idea. You have an idea.
yeah, yeah. Men and women, they have a different dynamic in terms of friendship. Not all the time,
Of
but
course.
sometimes there's a different way, different dynamic in friendship. But like I'm saying is why why does he need to be friends? Why does he need to be friend zoned after rejection? Why shove yourself in a position where you're gonna now be burdened to hear about all the failed relationships
Oh
or
man,
dating situations that she's
that's
gonna
what she
go through.
wants. That's what she's probably trying to guilt him into that shit. Oh, I need a straight friend who has an interest in me, so I could tell him about my stories about the guys I fuck up with. That's what she wants. She's spoiled.
It's selfish. It's not spoiled. It's
That's
selfish.
very selfish. And then the other point, I hate it when she said this. She was talking about ingrained patriarchy. You know, like doing that. There's no patriarchy in like like leaving somebody alone. Like the best example of like ingrained patriarchy is like if you go to the Middle East and like you see a guy and he sees a girl and he's like, oh, I need to ask your family to marry you, and then she says no, then he fucking rapes her or throws acid on her face or both.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm not saying that happens all over the place, but it happens there. It might happen here a few times, but
It may happen a lot of
in
times,
this
but it's not
society,
part of the culture though.
yeah, in this society, it's frowned upon on a very like deep level.
Yeah, on a very legal level, yeah.
Yeah.
But and it's so basically to wrap things up, it's multiple points here is that you can't expect to turn. I mean, unless you know what. On top of that, unless she already surmised to the point that they're like the first maybe 12 hours of getting to know him or something like that, she realized, yeah, it's just gonna stay friends. But they have that thought where they don't change their mind even after they get to know him a little bit. They won't bend, they won't
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
But
Like,
and that's
just leave each other alone. Like he had an interest in you. You said no. Okay, you both had that right. Now he doesn't want to see you anymore.
it's just the awkwardness. But she's talking about the awkwardness that follows it, where they're still affiliated or associated in the same circle or whatnot. And now or in a work
Yeah.
situation, which is worse. And now she has to deal with the awkwardness of them once upon a time talking to each other on a good friendly basis. Now no talking at all.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. There's a sense of awkwardness, and there was there's only there's two reasons why that would be uncomfortable. It would be either a, it's awkward because they were once friends and she just lost a friend she lost a friend because she couldn't help but not feel the same way as he does. So that's not fair to her. I get it, but at the same time, it's was his intentions from the start of being your friend only to get to know you on a certain level, because otherwise, like, what,
Yeah.
why else would he waste his, or not
Yeah.
waste his time, but use his time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's just spoiled and just, she just wants somebody. She doesn't want anybody to reject her. That's all she wants. Like, because that's his form of rejection. Oh, okay, you're gonna deny me like a romantic thing, which she has that right, of course. But he's gonna deny her this friendship. It's not a power play. It's just that, there's like, at one point the man is like, I don't need to be a part of this anymore, so I'm just not gonna be a part of this anymore.
Right, and not for nothing, we can end on that note before we get too deep on this.
All right,
But yeah.
I'll send it right now.
All right, all right. It was good. It was good going through this. Give us your opinions. Send us your comments, and we'll get back to them one by one.
Yeah.
All right.